Hello everyone, it's Aprilia and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to tell you about the Indonesia as a maritime power. Earlier this year, electoral debate in Indonesia powered up a national discourse about the country's intent, capabilities and roadmap as a maritime power in the Indo-Pacific region. Indonesia's newly installed President Joko Widodo, or popularly known as Jokowi, promised in his election manifesto in May 2014 to focus on strengthening Indonesia's maritime security and then expand the canvas of regional diplomacy to cover the entire region of the Indo-Pacific and project the Indonesian Navy as a respected regional maritime power in East Asia. He further announced in June 2014 that he aimed to transform Indonesia into a global maritime axis. He reaffirmed his vision after being declared victorious in July 2014 and called upon all citizens to work together to develop Indonesia into a global maritime axis, a global civilizational hub. While taking the oath of office to become Indonesia's seventh president on October 12 in 2014, Jokowi reiterated his call to transform Indonesia into a maritime nation and invoked the slogan of Jeles Viva Jayama, or in the ocean we triumphed. Jokowi's articulation are an important step forward in Indonesia's effort toward developing a grand maritime strategy. His vision goes beyond the idea of merely achieving maritime security and seeks to transform Indonesia into a maritime power. He is the first president in democratic Indonesia to publicly promulgate a maritime security doctrine, taking the debate out of the pages of the policy documents and placing it into the domain of a broader politico-strategic discourse. In light of these debates and discussion, this paper examines Jokowi's ideas and what they mean for Indonesia's grand maritime strategy in the coming years. Maritime connectivity and commerce. One key objective of Jokowi's idea of Indonesia as a global maritime axis is enhancing inter-islands connectivity and upgrading port infrastructure within the Indonesia archipelago, which encompasses thousands of islands and spans almost 6 million square kilometers. Many of these islands remain unconnected to their neighbors, and several benefit from only loose or intermittent contact. This lack of connectivity is more pronounced in the outer islands of eastern Indonesia, such as Maluku and North Maluku. As a result, many of these islands have acted as self-sufficient economies, not contributing to or benefiting from national economic production and distribution process. Similarly, Indonesia's port infrastructure has suffered from neglect and financial constraint over the years. Many of the ports are in bad shape and impede the country's internal and external maritime commerce in the form of revenue losses, time lag, procedural delays, and inadequate port facilities. According to a World Bank report, shipping a container from Padang to Jakarta costs more than 3 times as much shipping the same container from Jakarta to Singapore. As a consequence, Indonesia's maritime trade and commerce has failed to utilize its full potential. The nascent doctrine envisaged that the revamping of the country's maritime infrastructure, including the development of better port and ships, could transform Indonesia into a hub of regional maritime trade and commerce. Inter-islands connectivity, it is hoped, would enable effective internal utilization and prevent external poaching of maritime resources. An interconnected archipelago could leverage Indonesia's choke points and maritime corridors to enhance trade and commerce. So the idea of Indonesia as a global maritime axis may come as a novelty to many, it is not a new idea. The Transport Department of Indonesian government has set up a three-pronged archipelago belt project, the Northern, Middle, and Southern Archipelago belts, to connect different parts of Indonesia. Maritime connectivity was an important agenda item for Indonesia during the APEC group discussion in April 2013. ASEAN also has sought to achieve inter-island connectivity through its plan of developing a nautical highway system, or proposed ring shipping route, in maritime Southeast Asia as a part of the Master Plan on Asian Connectivity. Though the idea of interconnecting thousands of Indonesian islands has long existed, it received serious governmental attention for the first time in the Defense White Paper of 2003 and was further elaborated in the Defense White Paper of 2008. Now, maritime security, minimum essential force or MEF, and more. There is also a security dimension to Indonesia's attempt to better govern its maritime domain. Acutely aware of how the Dutch sought to reimpose colonialism after the Second World War by using Indonesia's vast waterways, how Sumatra rebels engaged in seaborne political subversion during the 1957 PRRI or Permesta Rebellion, and the deployment of a Dutch aircraft carrier in the vicinity during the 1960 crisis over Irian Jaya. Indonesia leaders have struggled to come to terms with the insecurity of its proximate waterways. This sense of maritime vulnerability was more recently demonstrated in Jakarta's reluctance to countenance excessive foreign involvement in the policy of piracy in its waters, despite the operational limitations of the Indonesia Coast Guard. Arising from such concerns, Jokowi's vision also contemplates erecting a defensive firewall in the form of an advanced navy to protect the country's maritime assets, sea lanes, and territorial water from both non-traditional security threats and external incursions. But he doesn't stop there. He goes on to project Indonesia as a maritime power in the region by promising to augment Indonesia's naval capability. He has proposed the development of an integrated three-dimension defense system under a long-term strategic plan, the details of which are yet to be laid out. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. And bye-bye.